Boys, it's finally fucking here. It's finally here. Patch log V1.7.3. Our fairies are finally here. Our fairies are here. I cannot wait. Again, if anyone did not see my post yesterday, if you would like to be in a summon video, just go ahead and send me an email. We can get everything else figured out after you send me the email. I'm not worried about that right yet. Get a hold of me. I don't have anybody trying yet. I don't know. I haven't looked yet to this morning since I made that post last night. Get in now before it starts getting filled up. I know I have a couple of guildies that are interested, and I found a couple people yesterday in channel 1, which is where you can find me when I am not on video. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this because I cannot wait for my fairies. Right. Gameplay balance update. New units. Fairies. Oh no. There it goes. Oh, no, don't go too fast. Okay. Fragrance. This is for all 5 units. Skill 1. Attack an enemy and inflict 1 turn sleep with a 40% chance once she is skilled up. If successful, increase your action bar by 50%. Good skill 1. Good PvP unit. She might be good for tunnel because she has the sleep mechanic and she increases her action bar so she gets more turns. It's always a good thing. The sleep will not work in most of the dungeons though, so she's not going to be a real dungeon unit. But yeah. Blood of Tranquility. This is for the tree and the dark units. Attack an enemy, remove 1 buff, and inflict 2 turns of silence. Damage is based on enemy's max HP. This could be used in dungeons, tree and dark. Tree and dark could be used in dungeons because of this max HP. Dandelion Spread for the water, fire, and light. Transfer all debuffs from all allies to the target enemy and recover 15% HP to all allies. The lower your HP, the more the healing amount. So she heals more, the lower her HP gets. So that's kind of cool. And she transfers all debuffs from all allies to the single target enemy and then heals all allies' HP. That is the skill 2, I believe, probably. Maybe skill 3, but I would guess skill 2 for the water, fire, and light. And then we have the Edelweiss Blessing, which will be the water skill 3. If enemies take the turn consecutively. All right, so if enemy uh Bioprocs with their mechanics, there will be an increased chance of being inflicted with 1 turn of freeze after their turn. Ooh, this is kind of nasty. If an enemy is unable to act or only uses a normal attack, your action bar will increase by 15%. She will be a really, really, really good tunnel unit. She'll be really good in Lost Tunnel. She'll be good PvP. It's a really nice skill here. Additionally, all allies under inability state will receive 70% less damage. Definitely good for tunnel. Scarlet Bloom Fire. Recover 50% of your current HP and attack all enemies with a 10 to 20% chance once skilled up to inflict a 1 turn stun. Damage is based on your lost HP. The lower your HP, the higher the chance of the stun. Decent, decent. It is single target, but oh no, it is all enemies. I'm sorry. All enemies, 20% chance to stun. And the higher your HP, the higher the chance of stun, and she's removing some of her. So see, this is like a mechanic that I can get behind and understand. Like the assassins, like I don't get, but this is a mechanic I can understand. Like she eats some of her HP, and then as she eats her HP, she gets the higher stun mechanic, and then here with her dandelion spread, she's got some heal. It's actually got some heals, so I understand this mechanic. This is a good mechanic. I like the way that this flows. Look over at this Leaf Storm for the tree unit, which again is the one that shares the Dark unit skill 2. Attack all enemies 3 times, each with a 70 to 80% chance to inflict 3 turns dot. Afterward, for each dot on the enemy's side, increase action bar of all allies by 3%. She will be very good with some of those daughter boxer teams. Another good tunnel unit. I like using dots and tunnels in the tunnel. Just my preference. Light misdirection. Attack an enemy, remove all buffs, and then inflict 2-turn mark and 1-turn tempting wreath. This is my favorite move. Right now, this is my favorite move. I cannot wait to try and summon this unit because I want this move right here. I want it. Parasit Parasites and inflict a 5-turn leech seed to the target enemy. This effect will automatically disappear upon your death. Automatically, if the buff you applied is removed, it will automatically transfer to the remover and refresh its duration. That's dirty. If anyone has ever played Pokemon, this is the light one is a confusion, and everyone that's ever played Pokemon knows what Leech Seed is. I sincerely hope. If you know what Pokemon is, you know what Leech Seed is. All right, on to the balances. We got the Fire and Dark Sorcerers getting a buff. Whenever they successfully remove a buff, they gain a 1 turn of stealth. Big buff. Big buff, especially for this dark one. This dark one is going to be even nastier than he already was. Fire one, it's good. He was already pretty good, so this is just going to make him a little bit better. Again, it's a buff. Good buff. Mr. Barbarian. Uh, if you guys have been watching my videos, there is a second unit with a violent mechanic. Shout out to Wakey for pointing this out to me. This water guy, part of his Rising Tide passive, it includes a biomechanic. There is a biomechanic built into his Rising Tide passive. Shout out again to Wakey for pointing that out to me. Thank you very much, sir. The new changes to the Rising Tide passive cooldown decrease from 6 to 3 turns. Skill upgrade bonus changes from cooldown to damage because they're changing the cooldown, so you're not cooling it down anymore. They're switching it to more damage. The stack count increment is reduced from 4 to 3, and the maximum stack count is reduced from 8 to 6. Okay, that's fine. Hot Temper for the Fire Barbarian, damage limit effect was adjusted from 35% to 25%. So now it takes 4 hits to kill, even if you're pumping out enough damage, which I think is going to be a little bit better because at 35%, it will only take 3 hits. The Light Warners, I've heard multiple opinions on her already this morning. I think this is good. I don't think this is going to affect her all that much, but I have heard people say that she was absolutely gutted for this. And someone who has her said simply, I'm just going to put some immortal runes on her, gear on her, and be good to go. So, any light nurse owners, if you had not thought about that already, shout out to Ashra, who is going to be running his light nurse with immortal gear. Anyway, the change to the light nurse. Her guardian angel passive. The revival effect no longer applies to her. It only applies to other units. The stack did not change. It is still only a 20-turn stack. She still gets her shield that you have to eat through, that people are still complaining about. Get over it. and the probability of counterattack has been decreased from 50% to 35%. You guys can still just stun her. Just saying. On to the Wandering Monks, the Fire and the Tree. The Fire's impermanence. Yeah, impermanence. Probability of receiving glancing hits has increased by approximately 20%. The additional damage has increased by 25%. So he's pumping out more damage and he's getting glanced more. So he's going to be harder to kill and he's going to hit harder. And then Tree, he has also gotten an increased damage. So already hard to kill. Now he's going to be hitting harder. Water and Tree Man at Arms. The Water Man at Arms thrust, the probability of freezing has been decreased for thrust from 100% to 70. So he's getting a little bit of a nerf. And then the Tree Man at Arms, he is getting an additional effect. Apply 2 turns of Root to all enemies. The effect rate has decreased by 10%. We will check out what Root means down at the bottom, but he now has an AoE Root. The Dark Iron Fist Vengeful Mark. The guaranteed critical hit effect has been removed from the passive and added to the Vengeful Mark. Check the feature battle entry for details. We will check that down at the bottom again. Mercenary Mother Fire. She has got a little bit of a buff here. Her Tumbler passive, her defense booster stack has now been increased from 30% to 40%. So she stacks a little bit more HP up to 5 times. A little bit more defense, my bad. Defense. She stacks defense 40% up to 5 times. So instead of 150, now it is 200%. Rippers, the Tree and Light both got some changes. We will be checking out the Light in the later video. As you can see, I am already dressed for that video. Ripper, Tree, his Reap. The 6-star effect has been changed from reducing maximum HP to applying 2 turns of Root. We will be checking that soon. And then the Grave Robber passive, the additional damage based on enemies missing reduced HP has been increased by 20%. And then the Light, the Kilomatic 3000, damage is increased by 33%. Apparently, he was not doing much damage. So they boosted his damage output by quite a bit. Onto the Ninrats. The Fire and Dark are getting a little bit of change. The Fire's escape plan, when attacked, there is a 20% chance to evade, and you can evade 1 fatal attack per turn. After evade, your attack bar is increased by 50%. I thought that was already the was. Okay. Ooh, Dark gets a little bit of a buff. When he is in stealth state, he gets an accuracy boost of 50%. That's kinda nice. And this Water Annihilator, I think, is getting a gigantic boost because he is a pure damage dealer. He is nothing but a nuke. He is a single target nuke, and he is very effective at his job. And now, instead of getting this 20% accuracy, which did nothing, he is getting 15% crit rate, which is going to make him a lot easier to build. I think this is great for him. Very happy for the Water Annihilator. I hope people start using him because he is a great unit for single target damage. Dark Scorpion, Scorpion Instinct. Add effect. Your attacks are always considered to have element advantage. That's nice. Gain Foresight. You can stack up to 3 stacks. This passive is only triggered when the enemy uses or triggers a skill that applies a buff. And buffs through gear set bonuses will not trigger this passive. We will get into that one tomorrow after this change has taken effect and we will actually get the full rundown on this guy tomorrow. You'll have to stay tuned for that one. The light bookworm. He has his cooldown increased by 1 turn for his revive. Little bit of a nerf, not much. Just an extra turn, not that big, just 1. The Dark Hog Chef got herself a really nice buff. She had an add effect, remove all debuffs from allies. Very good buff for her. Congratulations. She will now be usable. The Fire Giant. Fire Giant has had his HP increased and his attack and defense base decreased. And his Shockwave Fire, the damage multiplier has been changed from defense 100% to HP 10%. Cooldown has been increased by 1 turn as well. So reworking his stats and changing up his multiplier a little bit. He's getting a little bit of a nerf here because he's getting a big boost here because you can get a lot more HP than you can damage or defense, and it's going to be pretty high there, boys. This guy's going to do some damage now. I'm gonna like this build, I think. And the turtle tank, he has had an added effect. He does the stealth to allies, and then takes he pulls aggro, and then now he's getting immunity for that skill. So that's really good for him. Congratulations to the fire turtle tank. We're getting a couple of feature updates. In the challenge, the time limit for the 20 time battles in the dungeons has been extended from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. So now you can reach the 20 time battles if you can get your dungeons under 90 seconds. No longer just a minute. That is a big change. Thank you, devs. Everyone's going to be happy about that. Awesome. All right, here are the special effect changes and additions. We got the Tempting Wreath, Leech Seed, and Root, which are all new down here at the bottom, but we're going to start here. Effect displayed with a purple icon now requires passing both a resistance check and an immunity check when applied to enemy targets. However, all previously existing skills of this type will ignore resistance and immunity to maintain their final effects unchanged. Tempting Wreath and Leash Seed will not receive these bonuses, and resistance and immunity can prevent the application of these effects. All right, so Vengeful Mark is basically being grandfathered in to avoid resistance and immunity. Okay? Vengeful Mark will still avoid resistance and immunity. Tempting Wreath and Leash Seed can be affected by resistance and immunity. That is what this says. New additions will not be all bosses will be immune to special effects from enemies, and the accept bosses statement will no longer be included in the skill descriptions to avoid redundant descriptions. All bosses will be immune to special effects. These are special effects. These will not work on bosses. Anything that uses these, not meant for dungeons. Will not work on bosses. Vengeful Mark, defense is reduced by 50%, and attacks received will always be critical hits. This effect is only provided by the Dark Iron Fist. Okay? Your allies will attack you uncontrollably. This is Tempting Wreath. The allies will attack you uncontrollably. When the effect ends, all other allies will be stunned for 1 turn. This effect is only provided by the Light Fairy. This is the Light Fairies special skill. And honestly, I want it bad. I've been saving my light darks. We'll be doing those tomorrow. Leech Seed cannot be revived. All revived healing is transferred, all received healing is transferred to the effect provider. Ooh, she steals the healing. That's cool. And 20% of your HP is drained every turn. Ouch. So she's sucking HP and she steals all of the healing effects. That's that's diabolical. I want them both. I want them both. I want them both right now. I can't wait till tomorrow, boys. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. We're gonna be summoning, like, all day. And here is the new skill, Root. Cannot perform co-op attacks or counterattacks, nor can gain extra turns or increase action bar. This effect is now provided by the Tree Ripper and Tree Man at Arms, just like Freeze an ability of water and Burn an ability of fire. Most root effects in the future will come from tree element units. Most bosses will be immune to this effect. So root will be a tree pretty specific thing, just like freeze is mostly a water unit and burn is mostly a fire unit. Root will be the tree unit, um, tree element specific debuff. Like it. Based damage, the reduced damage based on HP effect in skills and boss protection now will only not only limits maximum HP based damage, but also damage based on current HP or missing HP. Oh, that sucks. That's gonna make it harder on people to clear dungeons now. And keep that in consideration. It now counts for those skills. You were pumping out extra damage. That's not gonna happen anymore. That's what this means. All that extra damage you were getting from those HP based skills, they are now going to be wiped away. During auto battle, clicking on an ally unit will set that unit as the party's focus target. With a focus target set, any single target ally skills will be forced to target the focus ally. In Crazy Dungeon, Abyss Dungeon, Mental Dungeon, you can preset the focus ally in the battle, so you don't need to click on them again at the start of each battle. Okay. I thought we already had that. Didn't we already have that? Maybe it just felt that way because it like maybe the AI has just been so good that it's just felt that way. But cool. Annual battle in the Lost Tunnel, you can set the final wave to be forced into manual mode. Oh, I like that. This I like because I always want to manual the final stage because if I let them do it, they derp. I like this. I like this. That this will shut after you get through the first two waves of Lost Tunnel. If you are not in continuous battle mode, it will automatically shut it down to manual, and then you will have to click it back to auto if you want. If you want it. I like this. That's something you can set, or you can just leave it to stay on auto. Like that. Test battles, you can after this update, you will be able to share the test results or retest afterward. They'll have a settlement panel. That's nice. I like that. Uh, anytime I ask anybody to test my defense or anything, they got to tell me what happened. But now they will just be able to share the results. Love that. Sorry, love that. Share battle, the following battles which could not have the replays shared in previous versions can now be shared, including Arena Test Battle, Elite Arena Test Battle, Airship Test Battle, Territory Battle Test Mode, and Mental Fortress. Nice. Due to changes in element attributes or skills, all battle records except for Lost Tunnel will be clear. Everything's getting reset again, boys. Everything's getting reset again. Inventory. getting some, quality of life updates and changes over here. In the gear interface of the inventory and gear management interface, you can switch the substat filtering to detailed mode. In detailed mode, you can specify up to 4 substats and set the value range for each stat. Like that. Multi-type filter. In the gear interface of the inventory and gear management interface, you can switch the gear type to select a multi-select mode. In multi-select mode, you can select multiple gear types at the same time. I really like that as well. Instead of having to bounce back and forth between 2 or 3, you can just select all 3 and pick whichever one you like the most at the and have them all be there for you to look through. I like that a lot. Gear mark. You can now customize the name of each gear tag, and the tag filtering panel has been optimized to meet various filtering requirements. So now you can name your own gear tags. I don't play with that. If you do, congratulations, you have some more fun. Batch sell. The batch sell settings are now allow you to sell gears that have been upgraded. I, I, I've sold everything that's below a 5-star purple. It's all gone. And the level filter has been re-added in the exclusive settings. Element sorting. A sorting button has been added to the Element interface, and the inherent system has been changed back to gold. It will no longer consume gems. However, there is a 12-hour usage cooldown period beginning tomorrow. I absolutely love this. You will only be able to do it one time. So now you cannot cheese this in territory war and consume a crap ton of gems if you are a super whale. Just gonna cost gold for all of us cheapos that just wanna actually switch up our units to good IVSs when we get them. There's just gonna be a 12-hour cooldown. Quite honestly, I never really need to do more than 1 or 2 a day anyway, so the 12-hour cooldown is not gonna be a problem for me, should not be a problem for anyone else. Airship interface improvement. The layout of the defense information interface has been optimized. When clicking on an enemy's ship, an information page will pop up where you can confirm the enemy's defensive lineup and your attack records. You can now reserve an attack spot in Territory War. After reserving, all guild members will be able to see your attack intention. Starting 6 hours before the tally, all players' names in the Ruby rank will be displayed anonymously. Oh, were people complaining about being too recognized? Well, then stop rushing into Ruby and then sitting there so none of us can get up there, okay? How about that? Complain that there's not that there's only 100 people that are like really, really, really good. It's like, yeah, because you don't let any of us up there. Other updates fixed an issue where the fire bearer could not correctly delay the damage when receiving true damage. I thought that was a perk of some of those units. They could eat through that part of his passive. I guess that was a bug that is now fixed. Okay. Fixed the issue where counterattacks sometimes occur at the wrong timing. Cool. Fixed an issue where certain passive effects could still trigger after the units die. That would irritate the crap out of me. Oh, man, that was probably just dirty, and that probably made some people really mad. Uh, Fix the issue where units with auto revive abilities could still trigger counterattacking after reviving. Again, that would really make me mad. I can see why people were getting this complaining enough to get this fixed so quickly. Fixed an issue where the effect resistance of minor enemies in the Abyss dungeon was not working correctly. Fixed an issue where if a player disconnected from the battle for too long during the battle process, the battle did not properly register as a loss when it automatically closed. Fixed an issue where in certain special cases, the replay of the battle did not match the actual battle situation. That's weird. Fixed an issue where member attack log could not be queried after the territory war ended. Fixed an issue where the spectate button was not displayed correctly when a player opened the reactor interface during the territory war. Fixed issue where modifying the gears of elements in the defense lineup of the airship war or territory war did not apply the changes correctly. Fixed an issue where sometimes the attack being carried out by other guild members were not displayed correctly in the territory war, leading to duplicate attacks. That would be annoying as hell. Fixed an issue where leader skill bonuses were not correctly displayed when viewing unit details in the preparation interface for Guild Airship War and Guild Territory War. Fixed an issue where a number of spectators did not decrease correctly with the perspective of the spectated players when a spectator exited. An issue where players could still see the shared information about players they had blocked. Fixed an error Fixed an error in the workshop interface where certain players' actions would automatically craft the currently selected gear type. Oops. Fix the abnormal display status of the interface when filtering the gears in the gear management and inventory by tags. Fix the issue where the guild airship war rank was displayed incorrectly on some interfaces. Fix the issue where the leader effects bonus was not displayed correctly on some defensive formation setup interfaces. I did see that happen. That was in Elite Arena, I think, where it wasn't showing up. Next issue where some battle visual effects were not displayed correctly when using the swap function in the themed arena. Next an issue where the cooldown time for the swap features in the themed arena was not working correctly. Next an issue where the game would present a black screen during the period when the themed arena had finished loading and was waiting for the opponent to load. Fixed issue where the battle playback would be incorrect. Players switched the mobile application to another app and then switched back during a themed arena battle. Fixed issue where players were unable to correctly reconnect to battle in the themed arena after closing the game. I had that happen a couple of times, really annoying. Fixed issue where the auto selection function did not present the option to select chess when the volume was set to 0. Fixed the error in defense and offense history statistics of the Elite Arena, displayed incorrectly, but did not affect point acquisition. Fixed the errors where the cooldown timer, such as Arena Refresh Timer, may display incorrectly when the game is running on a mobile device for days without closing. Jesus, people, you need to go touch some grass. Like, you need to be introduced to some green stuff, I think. Like, do you even remember what that is? New membership application is received. The guild leader and vice will be notified through the chat channel. I like that. I'm not always got my eyes on everything. Sometimes I don't see applications for like 30, 35 minutes, sometimes even longer if I'm farming and on my phone. Leaderboard on the Classic Arena information page is no longer updated once per hour. You can now more accurately reflect the real-time status. Ooh, it's going to update more effectively. Like that. After changing the password or account information in the Full Stack Account Center, the login information saves on all devices will become invalid and you will need to log in again when opening the game. I mean, That's not I think I kinda like that. You have like, if you're choosing to reset your login, you should have to re-log in to everything. Volume of the game startup music is now correctly controlled by the music volume setting. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The interface for inviting new players has been moved from the game settings interface to the supply interface, and the issue for the number of invitees not being updated correctly before relogging has been fixed. Optimizing the loading process during game startup. Optimize the loading process during game startup to avoid being stuck. I very much appreciate that as well. I've had that a few times, especially coming on here where it just doesn't want to load up for me because I've got too much going on. I guess I don't know. All right. Well, was the whole update. It drops tomorrow morning at 10 server time. If you did not see, we will go back to the game. So here, we'll look at that in a minute. Notice the game will undergo maintenance on 2025/6/6 at 10 UTC and will be updated to version 1.7.3. 10 UTC for me is 5 a.m. I live in Illinois. If you live in New York or one of those states in the Eastern time zone, it will be 6 a.m. 5 a.m. for me, 4 a.m. Mountain Time, 3 a.m. Pacific. If you live in a different time zone, you can figure it out off of those. That is it for this update. Again, if I when I am not on here, you can find me in channel 1. When I am on here, you can find me in channel 69. 69. With that, have a great day. I will see you guys in the next one. I will be back shortly with a video on the light units. Other than that, if you don't want to see that, I will see you in the next one you choose to click on, and have a great day.